Stephen Fish is a professor of political science at the University of California, Berkeley, from where he joins us now. Thank you so much for joining us, Stephen. Was the Biden-Putin Summit an attempt by either side to try and reset the relationship between the two countries, or are we still a long way from that?
I don't think either side pretended to resetting relations. Relations are far too poor right now to actually pull off a reset, which would imply a real fundamental change in the nature of the relationship. I think this summit was just about getting these two guys together, getting them face to face, creating a kind of framework for high-level communication between Russia and the United States. Relations have gotten so bad in recent years that just having a meeting that brought them together was something in and of itself. But as your commentators already mentioned, there really wasn't any major progress on any major issues. None was expected. There's nothing surprising about this.
Joe Biden says he wants to establish a relationship with Russia that's stable and predictable. What does that look like exactly?
Well, Biden would like a stable, predictable relationship with Russia, in part because he wants to concentrate on China. He doesn't want to have to constantly be dealing with Russia's mischief, its cyber attacks in the United States, its attempt to meddle in American elections, its attacks on, mostly cyber attacks, on U.S. allies, its aggression against Ukraine. So he would like to kind of normalize Russia in some sense in order to free Russia, in order to free the United States, to focus on China. But here we have to remember, Putin's and Biden's interests are not the same. Putin actually thrives on a high conflict, high friction relationship with the United States. His power at home is based largely on his ability to make Russia great again, to make it matter again in international relations. And the way Putin does that is playing a very strong anti-American card. He sees the United States as the kind of block to, or the problem with resurrecting Russia's power in the world. Putin actually knows that the United States wants to kind of marginalize Russia in our relationship so it can concentrate on China. Putin doesn't want that to happen. He still wants to be the gadfly who actually maintains the Americans' attention, if by no other means than just, vandalism and cyber attacks and interfering in American elections. So their interests don't really comport in that way. Putin has a much higher interest in maintaining high tensions with the United States than Biden does.
Okay, so is there any interest at all from Vladimir Putin to try and address some of the US concerns and salvage its relationship with Washington?
To be honest, no. I think both sides, there are some mutual interests. There's no doubt that nuclear arms control is in the interests of both parties. And both presidents, going back to February, expressed their interest in renewing and working on what's coming up to be a 5-year, it's going to be a very onerous negotiation process to come up with a new strategic arms limitation treaty. So they both have an interest in that. And I think we're actually this summit might have been positive insofar as both committed to that. They showed at the presidential level that they really care about it. Now, of course, the devil will be in the details in terms of the forthcoming negotiations. But there really isn't a lot of common overlap between American interests and Russian interests as Putin defines them right now.
Okay, Stephen Fish from UC Berkeley. We'll have to leave it there, but thank you again for joining us on TRT World.